Shri Gurubhyo Namaha children, I welcome you all to our online English class. In today's class, we are going to be continuing, chapter 10 of your Moments English book. So, in the last class, we saw there was a beggar and he had been rescued by Sergei and he had been employed by him. So, let us continue to the lesson and see what is happening. Sergei's anger had vanished and he now began to feel little sorry and ashamed of himself for having set a spoiled, drunken, perhaps sick man to work at menial labor in the cold. So now Sergei was initially angry because this man was not willing to work, and he was, even if he tried to do any work, it was not working out properly. So all these things were there and Sergei and Olga were irritated with this beggar. But this time, after some time, Sergei was feeling ashamed of himself for having employed a sick person. He is already unhealthy and weak also, for having employed this man and expecting a lot of work from him. So he felt ashamed. An hour later, Olga came in and announced that the wood had all been chopped. Good, give him half a ruble, said Sergei. If he wants, he can come back and cut wood on the first day of each month. We can always find work for him. So Sergei is telling, because Olga is coming and announcing that all the wood have been chopped, and Sergei is willing to give half a ruble for this beggar, and he is also telling this man could come and chop woods the first month, first day of every month he could come and chop wood. If not chop wood, let us find him some job so that he will have some money. On the first of the month, the waif made his appearance and again earned half a ruble, although he could barely stand on his legs. So the next month, first day he came, he chopped wood and he gained half a ruble once again and he went. From that day on, he often appeared in the yard and every time work was found for him. Now he would shovel snow, now put the woodshed in order, now beat the dust out of rugs and mattresses. Every time he received from 20 to 40 kopecks, and once even a pair of old trousers were sent out for him. So whenever this man, so often this beggar came and he found himself some work. Whatever work was there, he would shovel snow or he would keep the clean and keep in order the woodshed. Whatever work was there, he did and he earned money. So 20 to 40 kopecks. Depending upon the job he did, he gained money. He earned money, and sometimes he was also given an old pair of trousers. Dress were also donated for him. When Sergei moved into another house, he hired him to help the packing and the hauling of the furniture. This time the waif was sober, gloomy and silent. He hardly touched the furniture and walked behind the wagons, hanging his head, not even making a pretense of appearing busy. So what was happening? Sergei was shifting his house. So he hired the beggar to help him to pack and move. Hauling means what? Pulling with the help of a vehicle. Transporting with the help of a vehicle is hauling. So he hired this man in order to help him pack and move. But this time this man was sober. Sober means what? He was not affected by drink. Sober is not affected by alcohol or drink. And he was gloomy. Gloomy means sad and silent. He hardly touched the furniture and he was appearing as though he was worried and distressed. And he was not even making a pretense. Pretense means what? Pretending or acting. So he was involved in the job of packing and moving and he had to be working in order to earn. So this time he was so dull and depressed and he was not even pretending to be working. He only shivered in the cold and became embarrassed when the carters jeered at him for his idleness, his feebleness and his tattered fancy overcoat. So he only shivered in the cold. It was a cold climate. So he was a weak man and he was shivering, and he became embarrassed. He was ashamed because the carters jeered. Jeered means what? Made fun or made rude comments. So they made fun at this man because he was too old or too weak to be working, and he was sitting idle most of the time because of his health condition. So the carters were making fun of him, of his idleness, of his feebleness, and of his fancy overcoat. Tattered means what? Torn or ragged overcoat. After the moving was over, Sir Guy sent for him. Well, I am happy that my words have taken effect, he said, handing him a ruble. So after packing and after all the things were shifting, all these things were over, Sir Guy called in for this beggar, and he is telling him, okay, I am happy that your life has changed and you have become a changed man and you have started earning even though you are weak, and gave him a ruble. Here's your pains. Here's for your pains. I see you are sober and have no objection to work. What is your name? Lashkov. Well, Lashkov, I can now offer you some other cleaner employment. Can you write? I can. So he is giving a ruble and he is telling, I am giving this for your pains because you have taken efforts to at least work. You have not been begging. Even though you are weak, you have tried your level possible to work. So appreciating your hard work, I would like to give you this money, and also would like you to give a cleaner employment, a better job offer. So he is asking whether you will be able to write. And here also we are introduced with the name of this beggar. The name of the beggar is Lashkov, and he was offered to write. Then take this letter to a friend of mine tomorrow and you will be given some copying to do. Work hard, don't drink, and remember what I have said to you. Goodbye. Pleased at having put a man on the right path, Sir Guy tapped Lashkov kindly on the shoulder and even gave him his hand at the parting. So he is giving a letter to this beggar or the Lashkov, and he is telling, if this is, go and contact my friend. Okay, he will give you some editing or copying jobs. Go there and work hard and be sober. Don't drink again. So he is encouraging, he is motivating this beggar, and he is also giving him a good offer to go and pursue his life. So he is patting him gently as a gesture of appreciation. Lashkov took the letter, and from that day forth came no more to the yard to work. 2 years went by. Then one evening, as Sir Guy was standing at the ticket window of a theatre paying for his seat, he noticed a little man beside him with a coat collar of curly hair and a worn sealskin cap. So the time went by, and after which this Lashkov didn't turn up. Okay, after the letter was given and the copying job was given, this man didn't come up to the yard of Sir Guy. And 2 years went like this, and later when Sir Guy was there standing in a queue for buying a ticket, he noticed there was a small man beside him who was wearing a coat and a cap. This little individual timidly asked the ticket seller for a seat in the gallery and paid it in the copper coins. So timidly means what? Submissively or in a very humble manner. This little man, he asked for a ticket. Lashkov, is that you? Cried Sir Guy, recognizing in the little man his former wood chopper. How are you? What are you doing? How is everything with you? All right, I am a notary now and I am paid 35 rubles in a month. 35 rubles a month. So Lashkov, this man is identifying. Sir Guy has identified this little man to be Lashkov, and he is inquiring, how have you been? What is your life now? And Lashkov is telling, yeah, I have become a notary and I am paid, okay, 35 rubles a month. Thank heaven, that's fine. I am delighted for your sake. I am very, very glad, Lashkov. You see, you're my godsend, in a sense. I gave you a push along the right path, you know. Do you remember what a roasting I did to what a roasting I gave you, eh? I nearly had you sinking into the ground at my feet that day. So he is telling this man, this guy is now proud of himself, and he is thinking, okay, you are my godson, and at the right moment I pushed you along the right path, and now your life has been transformed. You have become a very changed person. Okay, and he is also asking, do you remember that roasting? Roasting here means that hard arguments, okay, which changed your mind. Do you remember all those words? And those words were the things which has changed your life. Thank you, old man, for not forgetting my words. So he is telling Lashkov, thank you Lashkov for not forgetting my words, and you have kept up my words, and you have become a changed person. Thank you too, said Lashkov. If I hadn't come to you then, I might still have been calling myself a teacher or a student to this day. Yes, by flying to your protection, I drag myself out of a pit. So now Lashkov is also telling, yeah, if it had not been that day, if you had not found me, okay, I would have not come to this place. And because you came, I dragged myself to your protection. I am very glad indeed. Thank you for your kind words and deeds. I am very grateful to you and your cook. God bless that good and noble woman. You spoke finely then, and I shall be indebted to you to my dying day. But strictly speaking, it was your cook Olga who saved me. So now Lashkov is deliberating what actually happened. So he is thanking Sergei. Sergei, you have been a good person. You have given me an opportunity to reform my life. If it had not been you, I would have still been calling myself as a school teacher or student and sitting somewhere on the streets. You belong to be praised. Okay, you are to be praised, but to be more praised or to be more recognized, it is your cook Olga. Okay, that is a person, that noble person was the one who changed my life. She saved me. So there is something more than what Sergei did. So what this Olga did to this Lashkov is now what we are going to see. How is that when I used to come to your house to chop wood, she used to begin, "Oh, you sot, you. Oh, you miserable creature, there is nothing for you but ruin." And then she would sit down opposite me and grow sad, look into my face and weep. "Oh, you unlucky man, there is no pleasure for you in this world, and there will be none in the world to come. You drunkard, you will burn in hell. Oh, you unhappy one." And so she would carry on, in that strain. I can't tell you how much misery she suffered, how many tears she shed for my sake. So he is telling, Olga, when I come and sit in your woodshed without chopping anything, this lady Olga, she would shed tears, she would cry at my state. She would tell, I am a very a person who doesn't have anything. Okay, she found me in such a miserable state, and she started crying, and she had been shedding tears so much thinking about me. But the chief thing was, she used to chop the wood for me. Do you know, sir, that I did not chop one single stick wood for you? She did it. Why this saved me, why I changed, why I stopped drinking at the sight of her, I cannot explain. I only know that owing to her words and noble deeds, a change took place in my heart. She set me right, and I shall never forget it. However, it is a time to go now. There goes the bell. Lashkov bowed and departed to the gallery. So he is informing, okay, of all. It's not only her tears which changed me, okay, there is something more. I didn't even chop a single piece of wood in your woodshed. So every piece of wood was chopped by this lady Olga. So from her misery, okay, that hard work she did for me, the tears which she shed for me changed me. Okay, involuntarily the changes took place inside me. I don't know how I stopped drinking. I don't know how I changed my life. All of her good deeds had changed me. There had taken place something inside me which made me, okay, not to turn back to my past life. So, I owe her my life. So, he was so indebted to this lady. It was because of her I was changed. So, he explained Sir Guy the deeds of the lady. And since the bell rang, they both departed. He bowed and he showed his thanks and he departed inside the gallery. So, that is how the life of the beggar changed, and now he has become a very changed person and has a good life too. See you all in our next session, children. And before closing, please do subscribe our YouTube channel for more updates.